All right. Well, first stream of the year. Hello, everyone. My name is Monica. I'm from geeksagoga.com. And yes, this is going to be my first streaming for my build. So, one of the things that I wanted to do this year was basically to start streaming some of the stuff that I work on because a lot of people have a lot of questions for me. Especially when it comes to making props and making all of this fun stuff that I wear at conventions. So I'm here hopefully to inspire people and hopefully to, yeah, just kind of like show that your creativity has no bounds. So I am really excited to show you all the stuff that I've been working on recently. And I can't wait to finish all of them and just lead you on this journey into this like awesome like world of cosplay that I keep myself busy with on a yearly basis. So before we get started, I'm just gonna test a few things here. It's been a while since I streamed stuff, and the last thing that I streamed was actually we had a one shot with Chu by Imagining Games. They had a what do you call this? An RPG that they had a Kickstarter for this comic book. Um, yeah, for this comic book called Shu, and it's kind of like a horror kind of like thing. So you can see a replay of that game on our YouTube channel. For those who are tuning in, same thing. If you missed something, you can also go to our YouTube channel just to check it out. I'm going to be discussing quite a bit of stuff today, so feel free to just ping me in chat if you have any questions along the way. Um, this stuff that I'm showing today, I am so excited because I'm going to be using TinkerCAD. A lot of people don't know. Instead of me molding beads for my costumes and whatnot, I actually 3D print them. So I am blessed to have three 3D printers at home. So I have a filament 3D printer and I have two resin 3D printers. So what I do is I create my files on TinkerCAD, which I'll be showing you in a bit. Hey, Papa Bear, what's up? So yeah, I hope I'll be able to like inspire you guys to use TinkerCAD. It's so easy to use, and I use it a lot for making custom items. So let me just check the sound real quick on Twitch and make sure that that's okay. My lighting's pretty bad right now. I'm actually streaming in our bedroom because I need to rest. A little bit of background here. I'm going to be talking about my health update later, but um, we are going to change some wording so that we're not triggering people about it. So yeah, if you hear or you get confused about something, I am going to do kind of like our safe word. For lack of a better term, it's basically a safe word for so that people won't get triggered when we talk about this stuff. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. So let me check this one more time here. And I don't know if I'm lagging or if you guys can hear me fine. Let me know. Throw a thumbs up there if you can hear me fine or anything like that. If it's lagging or anything, just comment away and just let me know. All right, so let me go on. I think we're good here. So I'm going to go and turn this off. Thanks, Papa Bear. You're awesome. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to TinkerCAD. All right. So I'm going to minimize my screen here because you don't need to look at my face all day. More makeup, but honestly, that's the power of makeup. If you're feeling a little under the weather or whatever, I don't have the variants or anything like that. I don't have the low keys, but I'm going to discuss later why I'm actually having some health issues. So let me go on ahead and introduce you to TinkerCAD. This is a free website where you can actually create 3D files. So in here, you can kind of see my dashboard. I still have my maiden name in here. I should really change it. Um, what's cool about this website is you can make 3D designs, circuits, which I haven't played with yet. There's code blocks, which is new, another thing that I want to like learn, and lessons. So you can click on this. There's a lot of really great tutorials in here. Very user friendly in my opinion, but the first try is a bit of a learning curve. But as long as you have a mouse and a computer, you're all set. All right. So just to show you a few designs that I've made here. I don't know why my Arthenia stuff is not here, but I think it's in a different account. But I've started making a few things. Like I made a belt buckle here. This one's for an Alice in Wonderland build that I'm doing this year, actually. And I'm creating custom beads for that. Not entirely sure what this is. I started working on it, and funny part about TinkerCAD is they always add like these funny like names to your file if you don't name them. And then there's like pre-made shapes in there too that makes it easy for you to play around with the files and create new ones. So like this bar here, I was going to use this for some Wonder Woman cosplay that I've been dying to work on. And these were going to serve as beads for my outfit because it's just a perfect shape star. And all I have to do is print it out, which is awesome. And then I have this boob cup here, which I did 2 years ago. And then I ended up just like abandoning that project. But yeah, so this is TinkerCAD. Yep, these are all the stuff that I was working on. So I'm going to start a new one because today I'm actually going to get started on creating Oct. So let me go on ahead in here. And please bear with me because I tend to jump from one screen to another. I have like one screen right now about my setup upstairs. When I'm able to stream upstairs, I can't do... I'm supposed to be moving around. I'm encouraged to move around, but not too strenuous because I'm still healing technically. So here we go. Until I get that set up together, then, this is what we're going to do for now. So Oct. I'm working on the backpack right now. So I'm going to go show you what that looks like. So Spider-Man. Olivia Octavius is the model basically that I'm working on. And what I basically did was on YouTube, there was a video short of her section in the movie. Luckily, in that scene, they actually showed her back. So it's pretty awesome. So I took a screenshot of it. I grabbed it and here it is. So what's going to happen with the remainder of me building this on TinkerCAD, I'm going to actually move this window to the side. That way I can see it closer, and I'm going to zoom in closer just so that I can see what kind of shapes we're dealing with here. Now, these shapes look like they're not that complicated, right? The thing about that is I might end up slicing this into sections or making them into sections. And the reason for that is it's going to be hard to print all of this all at once. And the reason why is because the 3D printer only has like a certain amount of space for you to print stuff. So my husband, like Bill, you guys already know Bill, he already told me, if you're going to build these files, make sure they're already pre-sectioned out, and then we're going to just put them together. Now, another idea that I have for this is instead of it having it just as one unit that we're going to fuse together with glue, it's actually going to all be screwed together. I feel like it's going to make it sturdier. And with me traveling a lot for conventions, this is kind of a good thing to do because you already know if you've ever worn a big prop during a convention, people will most likely like hit it all the time. It will always get hit. And since I have these big tentacles that are like coming out from my back, I want to make sure this is sturdy as heck. So I was really careful about that. Hey, Matt, thanks for tuning in. And so, yeah, I was really, really careful about that. Let me know if I'm lagging with my stream. I can't really tell because it's, yeah, I can't tell right now. I feel like it may be lagging. I'm hoping it's not. But if it is, just ping me. Just shout out on the comments there. Just let me know and I'll try to fix it. But we've been having issues with our internet lately, which kind of sucks. All right, so here we go. So Olivia Octavius has this backpack with 3 circles in them. Luckily, I can actually duplicate these circles. So TinkerCAD, God bless you. You already have pre-made shapes in here. So I'm going to go and use this cylinder. And you'll notice too, I might be going really fast with this thing because I've been doing this for a while. If you press on the shape, you can just drag it over to this working plane, which is pretty much your surface, your printing surface for your machine. These tiny squares here, if you zoom in, I'm just using my mouse here to make it easier to do. But these are actually in millimeters. So that's another really important thing to think about. Each measurement in here is in millimeters, so keep that in mind. So when you click on your object here, if I click on the side, you'll see there's numbers that are appearing on the left side, which is 50, and the bottom says 37. Those are all in millimeters, so mm. So what I'm going to do is the tubes or the tentacles for Doc Oct that I'm going to be using, they're actually going to be a 4-inch diameter. So I'm going to find out what the measurement is for that, like how many millimeters that is. So I'm going to go on and start off. I just pretty much use Google. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to do that in this screen here. That way you can see how I convert it. So 4 inches to millimeters. I can spell. So that's 101.6 millimeters. So I'm going to go back in here. And then I'm going to turn this. I'm actually using my right mouse button to move the plane around. You can move it upwards, which is like kind of just pulling it down, pulling it up, and then side to side. So I'm going to go on ahead and minimize it. And there's also controls here on the side here, on the left side, which you can see that actually helps with that as well. If that's something that you're more comfortable with, if you don't have a mouse, that's kind of like how I do it as well. 101. And I'm going to make an allowance, let's see, 101.6 for inches. Now I want it to be a little bit more snugger fitting, so I'm going to do 100. So we're just going to drag this. And you see the numbers at the top. It's increasing to 48, 49, 50, and so on and so forth. So let me see if we have enough room in here. We might end up moving this a little bit. Let me move this a little bit to the side here. Okay. And I'm going to go on ahead until I reach 100. Actually, you know what? Let's see. It's 101. I want it to be a little bit snug, so let's do 98. I think 98 is a little bit better. And you'll find out why later. Like I want it to be a little bit more snug because I plan on putting an inner circle inside it that would secure that tube, the tentacle tube. So let's try that. And if it's too snug, I can always like remove that with a Dremel. I can always shave off the inside. Okay, so now let's do this part. So I got 100 here. I think I'm also going to do 98. You can actually also click in here to change dimensions if you want. If you don't feel like using your mouse, you can just do that. I'm just so used to using my mouse all the time. So let me put in here. Okay. I'm trying to center it on the thing just because. So again, just as a point of reference, I'm going to go on ahead and let's see here. I'm going to copy this window so that you can see what I'm working on, and I'm just going to toggle between the two. So let me try this, and you can see my mood board here. It's actually one of the things I'm going to start doing on Mondays. I'm going to do mood board Mondays, and just to inspire people on how I get started with making my cosplay. I like creating mood boards because I like kind of like formulating what kind of materials I'm going to be using, what kind of color schemes I want to focus on, so on and so forth. So these are the circles that I'm pretty much working on right now. Are these. Okay. So now going back here, I'm going to go on ahead and tilt this. Now, this height is only 20 millimeters. So 20 millimeters is, can actually do this, less than an inch. Kind of want it to be a little bit taller than that. So I'm going to have to do, let's say 3 inches. So 76.2. Okay. So let's go on ahead and do that. I'm going to do, let's see. It's easier. For this one, it's easier to type it. I'm going to do 77. There you go. So it's not so bad, right? So far, it's not so bad. So there's your cylinder. Now here's the cool part. So this is 30, what is this again? 98. It's really snug. Duplicate this layer. Let me see. There's like an outer layer here. If you see the outer layer of this, it looks like it has these like rectangular things that are like covering it on the outside. So I'm going to start doing that first because the hole in the middle, that's easy to do. Let's see. Let's go back in here. Stand this upright. And luckily for the cylinder, it already has these kind of like demarcation lines that I can use. So let's see, what shape can we use for this? I think I can use this guy here. So just the same as before, I just like pretty much like dragged and drop it into our plane here. And then I'm going to go on ahead and adjust the size. So I'm going to do 2 millimeters here. And I know this is kind of boring for a little bit because it kind of is. I mean, if you're just watching me like make shapes here, but I'm pretty sure you'll be more excited once you see like the finished product, once I finish like working on this stuff. So kudos to you guys if you continue on watching, but yeah, it does take a while. It's almost like drying, watching paint dry, right? Okay, so I can actually move this on an angle here and see if I can match it with this part over here. So you can see the squares like disappearing when I'm doing this, and that's totally fine. It just means it's like really flush, like right beside that thing. I'm going to change my mind on this 98 millimeter measurement just because I think I want the inside to be 98. I want the outside to be 102. I think that's a lot better plan. So I'm going to do 102 here. And this one I'm just going to type 102. 102 over here. Actually, wait. 104. And I'll explain that later. I know I keep changing this, so bear with me. That does tend to happen with the 3D printing stuff. Because even if I do finish this today, it's after doing a test print for one of these parts, it's gonna take a while to like calibrate and see if I did it right or whatever. So yeah, we're gonna have to keep playing around with it to make sure it's it's really nice and works properly here. So, all right, I think I'm on the right track here. If it disappears a little bit, that means if it looks like it's molding together, you're in the right track. Okay. I feel like that's snug enough. So I'm going to stick with that. And then just looking at my picture reference over here. So yeah, it does look like that. Those are the little rectangular thingies in there. So I'm going ahead and make multiple of that. But first, let me increase the height. It's a little bit taller compared to that first cylinder that we have. So I'm going to make it about 80. I think that looks good. Let me see here. Okay. I think that's good. Now we're going to duplicate it. Now this is the tricky part. Okay. Try to like make it match where the other one is at. I might have to change angles just because. Okay. Looks good. And then I'm just going to repeat it and go all the way around here while changing the angles a little bit. Looks like that thing has a little bit of a gap, so I'm just going to leave a little bit of a gap there. Okay. So while I'm doing this, it's time to... Oh, we got someone else. Oh, hey there. Thanks for lurking. But yeah, like let me go on ahead and keep doing this. I did preface that I'm going to be talking about new stuff for 2022, my health update, and I also said something about, yeah, you can ask me any questions you like. If it's with regard to a build or a project that I used to, that I had in the past, if you're curious to know how stuff is made, etc., just let me know in the comments. Just comment and I'll try to answer them as much as possible. I do have my phone kind of like helping me out with this just because it's easier to just see comments that way instead of like going through three screens. I'm going to copy this guy and drag it over here. All right, let's start off with what's new 2022. Okay, 2021 was crazy. I had a lot of shows, like a little bit too much shows than I wanted to, a little bit too much panels than I wanted to, but it's all good. I met a lot of amazing people. I kept healthy. Well, we'll get to that later. I didn't get COVID, but I had to deal with another health issue that's not COVID related. I need to emphasize that because sometimes people just assume, because I've been out and about, I've actually been really careful even at conventions. Shout out to my NYCC roommates, Sewing Silly and Tin Lizzie Cosplay. Please follow them if you could. I've never had roommates ever at a convention, and these folks, they are so amazing. We all decided to keep safe and have our little pod basically test ourselves for the vid. um oh yeah, thank you. Thanks, Matt. I know you too. Thanks for you keeping safe as well, man. Like heck, like we love hanging out with you folks, and I am just happy everyone kept safe like the whole time we were around because we had back-to-back events. Like Matt's my friend who runs Lurking Fears. They do dungeon mastering for Chaosium, Bloat Games, and never got, like all these like amazing indie RPG companies. So look out for them because they have a lot of bookings this year. So proud of you, buddy. And yeah, Papa Bear, thank you for also keeping safe. Like I am so proud of you. You've also had such a busy year last year, and you're about to be busy again this year with all shows. So kudos to you. I'm so proud of you, buddy. thanks for keeping safe. I'm so happy that you were COVID free after the events as well. Because yeah, it can be very active in like the events, that you go to, you meet friends that you haven't seen for a whole year. Um, People want to hug and stuff like that. I love hugs. Don't get me wrong. I love hugs. I love getting hugs from my friends. And man, it was kind of hard for me to go to conventions and not get any hugs. I'm a hugger, not a fighter. So so yeah, it was rough, but I had to like, I had to keep my friends safe and vice versa. They want me to be safe as well. Okay, so shows this year, unfortunately, there's a lot of overlap of events. So I'm gonna be very, very nitpicky about stuff that we're gonna be attending, unfortunately. I can't be in all of them. I don't want to finalize them yet, but I will tell you all that I am going to be at Northwest Indiana Comic Con, just like every year. They have invited me to become a judge again this year, so I'm going to be at that event. Uh, so yeah, I am so excited. Oh, why is that block all the way down there? We have an anomaly here, everyone. I don't know what happened to this thing here. It ended up down there somehow. So I'm just gonna delete it. All you have to do is press the delete button and it's gone. So yeah, I'm just kind of like making a huge circle of these red things here. Oh, here's another cool tip about this thing. If you want to change the color of the shapes, you can. You just go over here. You click on your shape, click on either solid or whole. Holes is for if you want it to be hollow, then you use the hole option. It's the same with these two symbols here. Anything that's like gray and striped, that means it's a hole. And I'll show you how to make holes for custom shapes later too. I'm happy with this red, but since we're doing Doc Ock, I'm going to do dark green because Doc Ock. I should have changed the cylinder into something a lot greener, so let's go on ahead and just be OCD about this whole build. We should follow the aesthetic, right? All right, so last year was busy. My roomies, we all decided and agreed we're all taking tests, show each other our test results before we roomed. They're just so amazing. They're very clean, very friendly, very helpful. So I was so happy for first time rooming with anybody at a convention. These two are just amazing. Love them so much. And we had a vitamin C break every day as well. Um, yeah, a glitch in the matrix. Oh my god, can we talk about the movie without spoilers? Okay, I don't know how we're gonna do that, but let's talk about the movie a little bit. I'm sorry, but I didn't enjoy it. I might need to rewatch it for a third time. We'll see, but unfortunately, for how much I love The Matrix growing up, I don't know. Like this one just did not sit well with me. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the Matrix fans out there. I don't know. I need to watch it a third time. I think I need to revisit the previous movies and then rewatch it and see what the heck did I miss. It's just something about it that's just no. You know what I mean? I just not too happy about the whole outcome of this movie for some reason. Um so this thing here, you can actually be as OCD as you want. You can actually have measurements in here, go nuts. But me, I'm just kind of like winging it, just like my other stuff. I know you're supposed to like be better with measurements. That way you have like less margin of error. But I'm going to show you later why I don't have to be too careful about it. Let's change the color of this guy from red to green. Bam. Okay. Another OCD step. I'm going to turn this to light green. There you go. Okay, so where are we? Where are you? Okay. So let me go on ahead and add. We're almost done. All right, so let's see. What else? What else we're gonna talk about? Oh, seeing a lot of comments. I'm sorry. Um. Okay, Matt says the problem is the Matrix was so groundbreaking, it's hard for any sequel to match it. I agree, and I also think that they should not have waited that long. I think they waited too long. It became kind of like it didn't age well, I think. Oh, hey Nina. What's up? Chris, I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Like I wanna like it, but I think I'm just not paying attention so much. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm not paying attention to the movie. I'm gonna have to rewatch for sure. Oh, I think. Oh, Beth, is that you? I'm sorry. I was like, Beth, I was like, I know that sounds so familiar. But yeah, thank you. Thanks all for jumping in. Like, this is awesome. All right, since a lot of my friends are in here, I think it's time for the health update, right? Right. So this sounds funny, but don't, like, you get your head out of the gutter. I just wanted to, like, keep it on. Oh, hang on a second. I'm having battery issues. Give me 1 second. I am going to um, plug in this laptop. Somehow it's not plugged in. Uh, Give me 1 second, folks. Let me just. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. I was muted. I started talking, and that was wrong. Okay, now I'm back. Nina, you're just in time for the health update. Okay, so we have a safe word. And again, for anyone who's not familiar with me, please get your head out of the gutter. Um, can everyone just hear me just fine? Because now that my battery is intact, because, technology. Yeah. Let me know if everything looks good, and then I'm going to continue on with the health update. Can hear. Okay, good. Health update. The safe word is pillows. Okay, um, so I had an issue last year. Actually, man, it's 2020, actually. It started in 2020. And if you're just joining me, I'm just about to give the update. So 2020, October 2020, I started getting sick. I had a lot of pillows. If you can guess what that was supposed to mean. It's red and it's liquid, and I'm gonna call it pillows for the duration of this conversation, just to not trigger people. Because pillows sound really funny. So I lost a lot of pillows. So basically, what had happened was I had a sheer amount of pillow loss, and it was no joke. Like, I would literally be stuck in our bedroom. Every time I had to go anywhere, like in the house, I would lose my pillows. So basically, I had to get some iron supplements and whatnot. Um, but imagine, so women get, the whole pillow thing every month, right? Imagine getting it for a full month, every single month for 4 months. That's how horrible this whole thing is. And not only that, they were big pillows. They were not just liquid pillows, they were chunky pillows. And I'm sorry to gross you all out. That's why I'm using pillows as a safe word, because I don't want to gross people out. So it was brutal. And you saw how active I was. I was active online. I was active at events. I was all over the place. And yeah, Tammy, please, like, have it checked out right away. So, um, yeah, so I had all this pillow loss. I had to so like body pillows, not throw pillows. Exactly, Matt. Exactly. Body pillows. So yeah, so I had a lot of pillow loss. I still kept active, but hey Monica, you didn't look sick, but that's what makeup is for. So hate to break it to the people who kept hating on me putting makeup on. That's what the makeup was for. If you see my makeup heavier than usual, that's the reason why. I was really sick and losing a lot of pillows, hence I needed a lot of makeup. So so moral of the story is don't be a jerk if someone has makeup on. I mean, I look good, I think. So I don't know, I don't see what the problem was. But anyhow, um because of this pillow loss, like a lot of people thought I was, it was normal. Like some people said it was normal, which nay, it wasn't. Um it was ridiculously heavy. Like this pillow loss was really heavy. And because of the current situation that our country is in, or the whole world is in, I had a hard time getting a primary care physician who would um, recommend a good doctor to see me for my pillow loss. So it was really tough. I had to wait several months, and as you guys know, I had back to back bookings. It was very physical. Like some of the days there, like Matt can attest to this. Like there were times where I just had to sit down the whole time because I was very lightheaded. And if I miss my medication, it's game over. Like that whole day is shot. We're actually at an event, and I haven't really drank anything for a while because I don't know how that would react to my medication. And yeah, it was weird. Like I fell asleep. I fell asleep at an event because I was drinking. But anyhow, yeah, I had to keep track of that. Um, so the actual update, fast forward to I got a better doctor. I've got the right medication. And yeah, Matt says in here, yep, you were out of con shape already. And I can't imagine how bad that had to be on top of it. Yeah, it was brutal. Like I had for origins, I had some days I would have three back to back um panels. That was brutal, but I powered through it despite my pillow loss. Like I lost a lot of pillows most of the that weekend, but hey, your girl still got the job done. I just powered through it. I will say, and I'm by in any means not advertising that. I'm not paid to say this at all. I took acupuncture earlier last year, and it helped me. It was a godsend. Like for real. It basically helped me deal with my pain, my chronic pain from my pillow loss. So it made it so much easier to handle the whole situation. So you see me being able to walk around and do stuff, I think acupuncture for that. Like without that acupuncture treatments that I did, there was no way. There was no way I could do anything at all. So thank you so much for that. If you want a recommendation, if you're in the city, let me know. I'll tell you where I get my acupuncture done. Anyhow, fast forward, I had surgery done last month, and they found some um how do I even talk about this? Oh, whatever. I'm not gonna use a safe word for this one. Um, Before I move on, though, there's gonna be a trigger warning. Trigger warning: cancer and surgery stuff. So if this is something you don't want to watch, you might want to cut out within the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll go back and kind of like have a different topic in mind. So I'm gonna time myself for that. So just trigger warning. I'm gonna be talking about my surgery. So last month, actually, not too long ago, about 3 weeks ago. So I had surgery. They'd found polyps and my uterus. So they had to remove it. And they removed two. And unfortunately, they were cancerous polyps. So I'm trying not to get choked up with this because it's like very emotional sometimes. So, anyhow, this is why it's really important for everyone. Please get checked out. If you feel like you're sick and it's like out of the ordinary, please, 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 please see a doctor. Don't let anybody change your mind or tell you otherwise. Just see a doctor, please. Because if it weren't for the current conditions that the world is in right now, I would have been straight to the doctor ASAP. But because the availability is really scarce, I really couldn't see one right away. So luckily at the end of the year, then I was able to. So had a surgery, they removed it, and unfortunately they did find cancer. So don't be alarmed. I'm not gonna die. I can't die yet. I have so many projects and so many stuff that I need to do. So it's serious, but it's not as bad as it sounds. I guess the best way I can yeah, I'm too busy to die. That's right, Beth. I am too busy to die. I don't want to work until I die, but I'm too busy. Like I there's so many cool stuff I want to show you all. Like it's just yeah, I have so many backlogs of stuff that I wanted to do last year and I can do them this year now. So there. Um yeah, I can't quit now. So they found this stuff. They removed it. I got my MRI last week. I actually got my MRI. Luckily they didn't find anything. Thank God. So today I had a well, it's not the final consultation, but I had a consultation today. Um, and basically we basically caught it early. I'm in the very early stages of this cancer thing, which sucks because cancer always sucks. But it's the type, since we did catch it early, we're gonna see if my body responds to this treatment. I have like this medication I need to take, and we're gonna monitor it. And this is the sucky part. Every 3 to 6 months, I need to go back and pretty much be, like sedated, and they're gonna do like the same procedure I had with my surgery just to make sure, just to check and see if they find anything. Because if they do find anything, then guess what? They have to cut the whole thing out. They have to cut the whole muscle out of there because it's not gonna do me any favors to keep it there if this stuff spreads. So we're hoping to God. Thanks, Nina. Um, we're hoping to God that basically these treatments would take care of it and it would stop it from growing, because they took most of the growth out. Like they took all of the growth out. The MRI was a precaution just to make sure that they didn't miss anything. But they did see that there's a few spots that it could be forming, but they're hoping that the medication that I'm taking would take care of that part and shrink it. So 3 months time, I'm going to go back. They're going to do the inspection again, make sure that it didn't grow or anything like that. If it did, and if it keeps growing every 3 months, then that muscle needs to be removed, which I'm okay with. We've discussed this. Bill and I have discussed this. We're okay with it. It's just to keep me alive, so we're good. So yeah, I'm sorry to be like a little bit like kind of like, I know it sounds kind of gross, but yeah, that's kind of like what I'm dealing right now. Um, Luckily, the advice for me is basically to keep myself active, because you know me, I can't sit still. You all of you already know this. I can't sit still for anything. There's no way I'm gonna sit still. So I'm gonna keep going, doing my stuff, which my doctor did say, hey, just stay active, keep doing what you're doing. And we're just gonna monitor this stuff and make sure that the treatments are working, and if it's not working, then we have a solution for that as well. Awesome. Awesome. It's more than we could ever ask for. So yeah. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, everyone. Beth, Nina, you all are so supportive. Thank you so much. Yeah, like a lot of people didn't really believe I had some stuff going on because I'm active. I'm always happy, generally happy, and all that. But you know what? Whatever. Some people just don't handle like that sort of news very well, which I understand. But the worst thing you can possibly do, and I had experiences like last year, the worst thing you can possibly do is kind of like ignore the fact that some people do have chronic pain, that some people do have, some medical malady that they have, like legitimately have, and dismiss it as something that, oh well, she's just doing that for attention. You know what? I wasn't, Um yeah, thank you, Nina. Like for real, like I was actually told last year, and I'm like, I'm not really friends with these people anymore. Um I was told last year, oh, you're just posting about your health update because it's like it's to get attention. And I'm like, y'all really think I don't get enough attention? Like, I feel like I get too much attention. That's why I have two accounts. I have an account just for my public stuff, and I have an account just for my family stuff because I know it's a bit much sometimes. So there's that. Plus, like I wouldn't lie about that because the worst thing is, you know, it will discredit people who are truly sick. And I am not one of those people. I am not one of those people. Like I would never like lie about stuff like that and risk having other people um be unsafe about sharing their experiences just because, oh well, so and so just lied about this whole health condition. Befu says, I have a lot of friends with very visible and invisible disabilities. You never know what people are going through. Exactly. And I was just good at hiding it because you know what? I didn't see a reason to keep, like, yes, it is keeping like kind of like a facade that everything's fine, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want people to feel sorry for me all the time. And it's not that, it, how do I explain it? I know that kind of sounds bad, but I don't want people like looking at me like I'm gonna die like any minute now. Like no, that's not the whole point of this thing. Like the whole point of me like sharing it from the beginning was really to see if anyone has a good recommendation for a doctor because at the beginning of the year last year, I had a really hard time like trying to find a doctor for this because unfortunately the people who were treating me at that time they weren't doing a good job. They really weren't. And I was just kind of like at my wits' ends. Like, I'll do anything just to get this stuff like out of the way and done for. Like, I just want it to be gone. I just want this thing to be over because I've lost so many pillows. So we're back to the pillow talk. I have so many pillows lost, and it was just ridiculous. So, anyhow, if you have a friend or relative who's expressed like pain or anything like that, please don't discredit it. Just show your support, even if you can't help, that's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like we're not doctors. Like unless you're an actual doctor, there's really nothing you can do. But show support, maybe advice, like a good doctor that you know of, or someone who's gone through a similar situation, because you'll never know. Like that could help too. So that's like my 2 cents about that. So we're gonna monitor everything within the next year, basically. And if I'm not responding to my treatments, if my body does not respond to the treatments, then they're gonna yank this muscle out and cut it out because it's might as well do that instead of making this whole thing spread out. So yeah, that is basically the whole plan. Um, we've gotten this far, and I am just so happy there's actual results and answers, because we didn't have an answer for months. I experienced this whole thing October 2020, and we didn't get answers until really like November last year. That's how long it took. It took a whole year to get answers. Yep, that's right. Yeet the plumbing if needed. Yeah, it's gonna be out of there. Um, we are hoping that it will all work out, because you know me, I love kids, and uh it's just like something that I really want to have, like, you know, growing up or whatever. But you know what? I am still thankful for what I have. I'm thankful that I'm here. I'm thankful that I am able to overcome all of that. Um, so yeah, don't you all worry. Like, I'm working through it. Please don't feel bad for me if you see me in public, because I am actually a lot more functioning now compared to last year. Papa Bear says, do they know what triggered all this to begin with? So it's kind of a mix of a lot of things. Basically, what ended up happening was, okay, so long story short, in my family, there's a history of this already. We have a history of uterine cancer in the family. I have a couple of aunts who died in their 40s and 50s, with uterine cancer. And I didn't know about this until I started prodding questions to my family. Hey, do we have a history of this? And they said, yeah. Well, I was like, well, that's good to know, because then I need to get genetically tested for it. Um, the weird part about the genetic testing, and I forgot the name of the company that did the genetic testing. If you go to your doctor, they can actually get a blood sample and test your genetics for likeliness of a certain type of cancer in your body. So um if your count is more than 20%, what end up happening is you're most likely to have that type of cancer. The weird part is, for uterine cancer, my genetic test showed below 20. So at first we were kind of like hopeful about that whole thing before my surgery happened. But the breast cancer part is more than 20%. So I need to have, here we go again, I need to have more medical stuff happen. I was like, man, does all this stuff ever end? Like, right? It's like, if not one thing, it's another. I just need to do routine maintenance every year to keep the other type of cancer on check. But this one, I have about 18 months to see if this treatment like works out, and then we'll see from there. So I'm really hoping. Um, they said chances are I have better odds because they caught it super early. Like, it was so bad. I don't even know how to describe this. Like, aside from losing pillows, I would actually have morning sickness. So it sucked. For lack of a better word, it really sucked. So yeah, that's what really prompted them to like hurry up this whole surgery stuff and all that. Um, yeah, it's been a ride. Last year has been quite a ride. So definitely, please, everyone, take care of your health. If you notice something, or even if you don't notice anything, even if you think you're fine, just please get your regular um blood checkup, your yearly doctor routine, go see a primary care physician for our females out there, like get your like checked out, your down there. But yeah, like stuff like that, like just please stay healthy. It's so crazy how I know like insurance is like so expensive, and like medical bills are so expensive, but like the little bit of maintenance that you can do for yourself just by seeing a doctor, please take it. Like, it's so worth it. So Beth said, good luck. Had a friend go through treatment for breast cancer just last year, but cancer free now. Oh, thank God. Like, that's good news. Like, that's awesome. So, congratulations to your friend. That's very, very cool. Oh, I'm here, Maria. So I'm sorry but grateful you are putting the pieces together and getting all the medical help you need. I know, right? It's like finally I'm getting the treatment that I needed like last year. Cause I've been talking to a lot of you during the course, and I know it's depressing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it is depressing. I was depressed part last year. You can't really tell because like I'm crazy, you know. I tend to hide my depression with work. So the busier I get, that's where honestly that's where all my good stuff like come out when I'm depressed because I just focus on work, which is a bad thing. Don't do that. Um I started taking therapy, which was awesome because it has helped me a lot. But it was really depressing. Not gonna lie. That's just the nature of things. But I am so happy. Like this year is like a best start of the year. It's just trying to find like some sort of cure. Like we do have sort of a cure for it now. Thank God for like science. Thank God for medical advancement, and all this is like within reach. Like cures are within reach. We're just hoping that this would all like work. Um Sorry, I'm like working really fast with this 3D thing. So if anyone had any questions about this 3D printing thing, let me know. I just combined everything, so I'm just gonna repeat that real quick here. Sorry. If you're here for the 3D printing stuff, I'm so sorry. You just highlight the whole thing here with your mouse, and this thing here means to group to like combine everything. So this stripe thing is a whole, and then these are pre-made shapes that I did. And then I just highlight the whole thing to get them all in the same group, and voila, now it's one shape. Yay, it's one shape. Now we're going to compare this to our model. Ta-da! So this is it right here, and this is my, oh, not that one, but this one is my shape. So that one's a shape, this one's the model. All right, looking good, looking good. Now these inner circles, let's be honest, you're not going to see that when I have the tentacles on it. So I'm probably not going to make that inner part just yet. I think I'm going to do that once I do a sample print of this thing that I just made. And if this is successful, then I'm going to get the I'm actually using clear air duct tubes that would act as the tentacles for it. I'm going to put some electronics in there. And I'm gonna put some, yeah, I'm gonna use pool noodles, but whatever, you'll see the effect later. I always like working with all these like weird materials, but hey, you know what? It's lightweight and it's very durable. And like I said, I've already experienced like wearing huge props at conventions and people ram into it all the time. So I wanted this thing to be light, but at the same time like sturdy. So we're going to start with this file. I'm going to have Bill do a test print of this. And if it's successful, I'm definitely going to like add more pieces to it. So this looks great. I think I'm getting better at this 3D printing thing. So I'm going to turn this around. How are we liking this? Kind of like looking like this one, right? Like one of these. And the best part is I don't have to keep repeating it. It all looks the same. So I just duplicate or do like 4 copies of this and I'm done. All right, I'm seeing some comments, so let me just read. Oh, hey, Anna Maria. Um, hey, I have a couple of Marias in here. Hey. um, Papa Bear said I haven't paid attention to the 3D printing at all. Just have been listening to your stories. Oh, thank you. Well, you can always catch the replay of the 3D printing part when oh, Nina, you have to run. Wanted to pop in and show support. Thank you so much. Very glad you're doing better. Have some answers and caught everything early. I'm so proud. Thank you so much. Thank you. You all are so awesome. Anna Maria, I might have to catch you later about the whole health update. So I'm I don't know if you missed everything, but if you did, I will have the update for you on the DMs on Facebook. But feel free to ask anything. Um, Matt says, not like running around with two. I'm just, oh, thank you. Well, Matt, I'm doing a lot of villains this year. So here's another yearly update. I kind of want to lighten the mood up a little bit here. We can always go back to the health stuff. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. You're more than welcome to ask in the comments anything at all. If you want to ask about my medication, just let me know. Um, where was I? Oh, this year. So my builds. I'm pretty sure some of you want to hear about builds, right? Uh, so even if I have this whole thing with my health, because it's treatable, we're hoping everything just works out within the next 18 months. Oh, thank you, Anna Maria. Yeah, please, feel free to catch up with me later. I totally understand because of the whole time difference. Matt, yes, it is the year of the villain, so I'm starting the year with Doc Ock. Um, I'm hoping to get done by February because I have a show coming up. And I'm hoping that we get this situation with the whole health thing. Not my health, but like, like the whole panda thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. We're hoping we get that in check. That way we can really move forward with the show on February. But Northwest Indiana Comic Con, I'm going to be one of the judges for the cosplay contest there. And of course, since I'm going to be judging, I need to wear something flashy. So I decided to go with Doc Ock. Originally, I was going to make a not Valentine's, Heartseeker Jinx. I have all the materials for it, but for some reason, I kind of like wanted to veer more towards Doc Ock just because of the fact that I don't know. We're hoping. I'm saving up for it, but I'm hoping to go to D23 this year, especially after this diagnosis. So we're gonna work my checkups around the whole D23 or all the other events like scheduled. So hopefully it all works out. Um, but yeah, like I said, despite the health issue, I am so grateful that I'm actually a lot more functioning now after the surgery compared to last year. Because last year was the pillow loss, the pain, and all that, and the surgery and the acupuncture and the meds all like just help so much. D23 is gonna be in California, and it's a long haul and can get really expensive. So I've been saving up for it because I really, really want to go there, and I'm trying to convince my sister-in-law to go as well. I just want to see these costumes up close, and I want to bring like cool stuff in there too. So a lot of the stuff that I'm gonna be working on this year will be Marvel, um, some princesses, a couple of princesses I have in mind. I had this Alice in Wonderland build that I had to abandon last year because of being sick. Um, and it's what is the name of the artist? Triple Eight Magi Triple Eight is the name of the artist. So her version of Alice in Wonderland, I'm gonna be working on. I'm also going to be working on Filipiniana, which is like kind of like a Filipino, um, what do you call this? A Filipino traditional garb, a version of Tiana, because Tiana is actually one of my favorite princesses. Because not only can she cook, but she's awesome. She's an awesome human being. Like, and I love to cook. You know me, I love to cook. I love to feed my friends. So that's pretty much one of my favorites. And I love green. So you're gonna see a theme this year. It's a lot of green. Um, so I was planning on bringing Alice, Tiana, and then Doc Ock to D23. Hopefully, if I'm able to build all of them And at the same time, like I, save up enough money to go, then I'll do all that. Um, Befu says, "Why you enjoy cooking? Such a shock." Like, yeah, we trade recipes and stuff, like sauces. You know, I love to eat. That's how I keep in shape. I eat and cook. But yeah, yep, Tiana's definitely up there for my project. I don't know if I'm doing the contest, to be honest. Um, it depends on how prepared I am. Oh, I gotta show you. Okay, let me rename this. So here's another funny part about TinkerCAD, right? It always puts his funny name on top when you like make stuff in here. And this one they named it like Smooth to Mellow Mimo, which is so freaking weird. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But I'm gonna change this to Doc Oct 1. Looks like October 1, but that's okay. Doc Oct 1. And I'm gonna save this. Hopefully it saves itself. But I did get started with the detailing for Alice in Wonderland yesterday. I started doing custom beads. So if you've seen my build for Arthenia the sixth, I did custom beads for that cosplay, and I actually modeled all of those beads with TinkerCAD. And I made sure when I modeled it, like it had holes so that I can pass a needle through it, a needle and thread through it, so I can sew it into the ribbon that I was making. Um yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the contest. It really all depends on how much I get done and how perfect it looks. Um oh yeah, get me that barbacoa recipe. Sorry, we're talking food. I love food. Yo, all of you already know this. I love food. But yeah, definitely send me that recipe, girl. Send it to me. I love making all this new stuff. I think this week I'm gonna try to make tamales. And please don't come at me for this, but I usually make my tamales without lard because it's healthier. And I have a whole recipe for that as well. So if anyone's interested, hit me up. I'll tell you my recipe for it. Um, but yeah. Um, so anyhow, back to the 3D thing, really, really quick. This is the Doc Ock first iteration. We'll do a test print maybe this week. We'll try to see if that will work out. If this test print works out, I'm gonna move on to the next section. This plane is so small. For what it is. It's like you can only do like small sections at a time, but that's fine. I think I'm gonna find for the actual casing of the back of the whole thing to put it together. I'll probably look for a container of sorts, which honestly, like the dollar store, sometimes they'll have something there that I am able to modify with a heat gun. Like plastic's so easily molded with a heat gun. I think I'm gonna use a one of those paint dishes. It's not a dish. It's like this slanted thing like you find in the automotive section in like the dollar store. I'm just gonna drill holes in there or cut holes around there to fit these and screw them in. Um, I think that will work just fine. Majority of the wiring for the electronics and the framing for this is going to be built in on a much more stable plate that is actually kind of like going to be a backpack version kind of like thing going on in my back, and that will help hold all of it together. Um, I can like actually dismantle this whole thing and pack it in a suitcase if I wanted to if I'm traveling, so it's gonna be easy to travel with it. Let's see here. Yeah, keep those questions coming if you guys have any questions about my builds or if you have any questions about my health stuff. Feel free to just write it down on the comments. Yeah, I didn't realize it's already been more than an hour talking about this whole thing. But yeah, and I can't believe I finished this thing in less than an hour. So yay. Thank you. But yeah, let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. I know some of you who came in a little later, definitely hit me up if you didn't get the full story of like the health update. I think I'm mentally prepared to discuss it now. Um, Past few weeks, I had a really hard time, like kind of like thinking about like talking about it. So only a few people know about it, and some family members. But now it's like, since there's some answers already, and there's like a possible cure for it, then thank God. Like I'm just happy about that. I'm just so grateful. Um, so yeah. So let's see. Let me see if I can work with another stuff. I want to like utilize like some of the spaces in here, but at the same time, it's like I think this part here, I'm just gonna use a wire, a 12 gauge wire in here. Um, Other new stuff that's coming up this year. So every other Monday, I worked out the schedule with Bill. Wait, there's a question. So does the 3D modeling program come with a printer, or do you have to find your own program? So there are recommended programs that you can use to print out your stuff. Oh, I was actually gonna say, here's what about TinkerCAD, right? This model that I just made, you can actually send that to people. You can share it with people and apps. And if you don't have a 3D printer at home, they actually have 3D printers, like people who would print this for you, that you can find in the website. All you have to do is share this file to them. And I think, yeah, it's you can invite people to design with you as well. If you have a friend who's like really good at 3D rendering, that's something you can do. I know that Bill did a lot of research for the 3D printing part. And that's something that I'm going to ask him to teach me this year, because that way he can focus on the resin printing, and then I can do the filament printing, because there's like a kind of like a thing that you need to do with it. Oh, hey Maria. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, give that precious like little girl a kiss for me. Love you guys. Um so yeah, like I'm trying to think of what program he uses. I know he talks about it a lot, but you have to actually do some research. The 3D printer itself does not come with the software, but they will have recommended software on the manual for it. So they'll say which ones are compatible with that 3D printer. Um, I'm trying to remember what it is. I'll write it down and message it to you once I find out. I can't believe I'm blanking on it right now. But yeah, so I 3D render, he prints for me because he's had more experience printing the files for me. I just have more experience like making these files, if that makes sense. And then I pretty much try to plan all of this out so that I can fit my electronics in there. I can fit all my fixins. Um, I'm so excited for this build. Like, y'all have no idea how excited I am for this build. I've been wanting to build this for like a whole year. But just to give you an idea, so like I have a back plate attached to my back, yeah, and kind of like a backpack form that will like attach to the top that I'll be wearing. And that plate will have metal rods sticking out of it, and that will act as the frame for the tentacles. And you can actually bend them. It's going to be like bendable to whatever angle you want it to. The very tip of that, I'm actually going to attach some down the road, because I know I'm not going to have enough time for NWI. I'm going to put servos on the individual ends. Hey, Han? Han? Chris is asking what program you use for printing.
3D printing, Cura for slicing.
Cura for slicing. So I think this is CURA, right?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I blanked out, but this is what it's called, Chris. It's Cura.
Actually for resin printing, but
yeah. So yeah, that's what it's called. But yeah, the tips of the tentacles For NWI, they'll probably be static for the time being, but I'm gonna put individual servos on each one. That way they can open and close. I'm gonna attach that to Arduino, and they will have like green LEDs on the tip. That way they'll light up while the things are moving. Um, the actual tentacle itself, aside from the metal framing that I'm gonna be doing, it's actually gonna be covered in um, pool noodle that I'm gonna like size up, and it's gonna be bendable too, just to keep the shape of the tentacle. Um, and then they will have a wire like running across the whole thing. That way it lights up when when it's propped up and stuff. And then here's another thing that I'm gonna start doing this year. A lot of people are very hung up when they make cosplay for stuff to be screen accurate, and in order to do that, sometimes you will require yourself to build stuff from scratch. I just want to like tell people you don't have to build from scratch all the time. So the entire build that I have for Doc Ock, aside from this 3D printed parts, because this is probably the most extensive one or section of the build that I'm going to be doing for this character. um the clothes, they're going to be pre-made clothes, just because I want to make it easy for myself, and I want to show people that you don't have to start from scratch just to like make stuff. um so yeah, it's totally fine to have pre-made stuff, but it's still gonna look great. You just have to modify it a little bit. I found a shirt that actually is the shade of green that Doc Ock had in the movie, which is so freaking awesome. And I can actually give you a sneak peek of my mood board. So every other Monday, I'm gonna do mood board Mondays. This is kind of like what it's gonna look like. So this is my mood board for Doc Ock, which I created in Canva. I'm going to be doing classes on that as well down the road here. Oh, too big. Let's see. Let me shrink this down. But yeah, this is my mood board for Doc Ock for my inspiration board. So on Mondays, I'm going to be doing these, and I'm going to kind of like do tutorials on how to do this. I find out when I do this, when I do my builds, it's actually a lot of fun, and it's easier to visualize what I'm working on. And then I end up just printing the whole thing and then tacking it on my wall while I'm building it. And it just serves such a good inspiration to like look at and like reference for your build. And then, oh, not that's not the one. Hang on. Where is the one with the clothes? Okay, here it is. So a lot of my pre-made stuff, this is what they're gonna look like. So the 3D rendered stuff is up here. This is like my build from scratch part. The goggles, you can buy these goggles anywhere, you guys. Like the long, or everybody, I shouldn't say guys, I'm sorry. Everyone. The goggles, gloves, I'm not going to make that from scratch. Like, hey, I'm going to buy it. That's okay. The corset looks like almost on point. Like, I'm going to buy that. I'm just going to add some wires and some lighting, probably some reinforcement as well. Um, the tentacles, that's what it's gonna look like. The outer shell, at least, is what it's gonna look like. Pants, gonna be yoga pants, and then I bought two of these wigs that I'm gonna style, just as how her hair looks. So I'm really excited for that. I bought a brand new wig head that's like canvas wig head, and it looks really pretty. So I can't wait to show that off, and I have a new wig stand and everything. Um, the upstairs right now is set up for my sewing section, and I'm really excited to share that and start building and streaming from there. I just need to kind of like gauge the internet, because the last time I did live streaming up there, it didn't look so great. I'm not gonna lie. It looked kind of grainy. I was lagging quite a lot. So we had this internet extender thingy up there that will hopefully help. So there's that. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that I'm gonna be using for this year, just to make it easy for myself. Plus, it would help me build my stuff faster. And being that I have all these like cool stuff that I want to build this year that's like lagging from like last year, I just want to help myself. Although I was like kind of like prescribed to like, move around more and stuff like that. I can't overexert myself. I still need to like get enough sleep, stuff like that. And not gonna lie, I don't have a lot of time in between works. I work 9 to 5 every day, Monday to Friday. So, and then I have chores. I have stuff. I have stuff to do. I have to cook, I have to clean, I have to do all the stuff. Um and then after that, like around 7:30 or 8, that's when I can build my cosplay. And because health is important to me this year, I'm going to do my schedule. I'm going to sleep on or before midnight because health is important, and please make that a priority, everyone, please. But yeah, so that's a lot of my builds this year. Like, I'm not afraid to say it. Like, I really have nothing to prove when it comes to builds. I can do electronics, I can do sewing, I can do all that. Yes, it's a shortcut. Yes, it's not screen accurate, but guess what? If it looks good and I can carry it in my back without me hurting for wearing it for like 8 hours straight or 12 hours straight, then I know I've done a good job, and that's all that matters, and I'm healthy and alive. so so yeah. Um let's see here. Does anyone have any questions at all? Yeah, so yeah, mood board Mondays is happening. I'm gonna be live streaming a bunch of my builds. I think every other Wednesday I'm gonna do builds for sure. Um so Papa Bear says, okay, someone like you yourself that has a full-time job, wife, been in newspapers, cons around the country, cosplay, championships, etc. How do you stay motivated to keep creating? Um I love that question. And I'm going to answer with this. I This is something that I've been wanting to do since I was a kid. Like, I'm very creative as a person, and my day job is like I'm an accountant. So I'm like not a TikTok accountant, a real accountant, okay? I need to remind people. Someone asked my friend Matt at some point, it's like, is she a real accountant or is she a spicy accountant? I'm not a spicy accountant, I'm a real accountant. I I handle nonprofit organizations accounting work for them. I'm not good with taxes, unfortunately. That's a whole nother ballpark. Um, Taxes are hard, especially per state. There's so many like different rules. Um, but yeah, I did corporate accounting for so many years, and then now I'm doing actually what I wanted to do in this accounting profession. I wanted to work for nonprofits, but I wanted to get paid the salary of an accountant. So I got the best of both worlds. The company that I work for right now is very flexible, especially with me being sick, which was freaking awesome. But I think a lot of it is I just have this like really, really big need to create stuff. I always want to like make stuff, like artsy stuff all the time. And even before I started cosplaying, like if you ask Bill, actually, he saw the progression from me becoming a very busy corporate accountant to an accountant slash cosplayer. Um, yeah, I just love creating stuff. I love painting. I love doing all this. I honestly, when I was a kid, the two professions I wanted to do was I wanted to be a architect, which I was discouraged from doing because I wasn't good at math. And funny enough, I became an accountant when I grew up, right? Like whatever. So never tell your kids what they can and cannot do, because this is so ridiculous. How I ended up being an accountant after being told that I was so bad in math. Um, and then the other one, which is kind of like a thing that you'd probably hear from a lot of women, I wanted to be a fashion designer. And cosplay just kind of like meshes like the whole world of like, heck, I can't just, I can do electronics, I can do structural builds, and I can sew too. Like, that's like the best of both worlds. So, if anything, like that really motivates me a lot. It's like, you know, like, when you ask somebody, it's like, hey, when you were a kid, like, what did you want to be? Um, and then this is kind of like that wish, like, coming true for me. And that motivates me so much. And of course, like, like support from friends like you, Papa Bear, you're an inspiration. A lot of the people in chat today, all of you, like, are such huge supporters of not just being my friends, like my art as well. Like, this is something that I work really hard on, and if it weren't for all of you just cheering me on in this journey, like, I really would just stop doing this. Because when I started out doing all of this cosplaying, it was like, man, this is a lot of hard stuff. Like, people think like, you can buy your costume and stuff like that, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But building a cosplay from scratch is a whole nother ballpark. It's just a whole nother thing. And it's so crazy. It's so crazy. How you can create something from scratch, like this thing that I just made tonight, and make it into something that's a part of a big cosplay. Um, just trying to juggle everything is really hard. I have been able to manage it a lot better last year. So a lot of people ask me like, okay, how do you manage your time and be able to spend time with your husband and stuff like that? Um, we have gotten better with our schedule, and we've also gotten a lot better with the timing of things. I think with the years of experience, it I have a better understanding of building certain things or sewing certain things, that I'm a lot faster now, like way faster than I ever was like 3 years ago. So I build stuff fast and quick, and they're clean. Um and I also have that attitude now that if it's not done a day before or 2 days before the event, I scrap it and I go with something else. Um, I think we push ourselves too much to finish something for a convention, because I've been there. I've done the most cosplay that I've done in 1 year is 24 cosplays in 1 year, and that was nuts. And I had a busier work schedule then than now. And the answer to that was I didn't get enough sleep. And it's bad. Don't do that, please. I haven't been doing that, and I'm a lot happier. At home, my husband and I, like Bill and I, we love to game together, which is really awesome. We have that same passion of gaming, and we actually schedule, yeah, 24. Chris, can you imagine that? 24 cosplays in 1 year? But I actually managed to do it somehow. Somehow I managed to, like, I think the year was like 2014 or 2015. I had 24 cosplays. And they weren't all top-notch cosplays, don't get me wrong. They were like kind of like Mod Podge like stuff, falling apart at the convention kind of like thing, duct tape, like, like safety pin, that stuff. But yeah, I managed to do 24. Like, I counted, yeah, 12 in a year. That's a lot. That's a lot. And it's like, you all know, like, there was, before the pandemic, every single convention that was happening in Chicago. In Chicago, it's like almost every single weekend there's like something going on. It was ridiculous. And because we're press, we get invited to go attend these events. Yeah, while working 60-hour weeks now, I'm like, how did I not die? I know, right? Like, I look back now, I feel the same way. Like, how am I still alive? Like, I was like running on, heck, I would sleep for like 3 hours some nights, or sometimes not at all. Like, I'll take a nap during my lunch break at work. Like, I would literally just like get to work and then work Then during my lunch break, like I'll set my phone for an hour and I'll sleep at my desk. Like I'll have my head down like this and I'll just like take a nap. And I'll tell my coworker, if I don't wake up when my alarm gets off, please wake me up, and they'll do it. They'll gladly do it. But man, thank God for all these like corporate companies that I used to work for. They actually have pods. Like it's like these rooms or these pods where you can like nap in. Thank God for that because that helped me survive a lot. But yeah, like I would just do that. Another way I'd manage it was like I would do food prep. So on Sundays, I would prep all of my food for the week, and it would be our packed lunches and dinner. And I will make enough for 5 days because weekends then I'll go nuts building on weekends. I'll do 12 hours or more on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes I don't sleep. Like Friday, I would like make cosplay when like from 8 onwards, whatever onwards means, like sometimes 4 in the morning, and then I'll wake up at 7 and I'll work from 7 in the morning until 1 a.m. Yeah, it was nuts. I'm not doing that again. I'm getting too old for this shit. I'm not doing that. But yeah, like now I have healthier habits now. Like once a week I schedule game night with Bill, or twice a week. That the reason why I have every other Monday for mood board Mondays is because I am actually in a D&D campaign with that's being run by Bill. So Bill's running this campaign. Char stars in it. A few of my friends who game, Chris, who works for Cephalofair Games, he's in that game too. We have a lot of fun. So every other Monday is our schedule for the game. That's why the overlap would be mood board Mondays and talk about whatever. Um, and then Wednesdays, I'll do every other Wednesday for kind of like succeeding build days, just to like kind of like talk about the process. I decided I'm not going to stream every single day that I'm building. The problem with that is I can talk for hours, but that also means I'm going to have a hard time concentrating on my build. It's a miracle I did this whole thing in, in this 3D rendering in like a less than an hour just talking about this stuff. But it just comes with a familiarity with the software, I guess. I've been doing this for like a year, so it's a lot easier for me to do. And like I said, if you have any questions about this 3D rendering, play around with this. They actually have even text in here if you want to add text to your 3D prints or like other shapes. You more than welcome to like do that, make it look cool and whatnot. I might add some details in here later, like some Easter eggs. I like adding Easter eggs in my 3D print stuff. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm gonna have a set schedule this year for my streams. But yeah, every week there's going to be kind of like an overlap day. So Monday, I started off the year streaming this Monday. Next Monday is an away day, but next week, Wednesday, I'm going to have an actual build day that I'm streaming. And whatever it is that I'm building on that day is going to be, ask me whatever you'd like during that time, whatever build, whether it's the build that I'm building during the stream or the build that I did prior. Definitely ask me any questions. Um, I'm currently fixing up right beside our bedroom is my workshop, and I'm currently rearranging stuff in there right now. Now that I moved my sewing section upstairs, it's a lot larger. I have more room to do activities in here. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a facelift to match my aesthetic. I think that would be good. Um, I think that would also help motivate me create more. Oh, here's a very very important thing, by the way. People don't realize the power of your surroundings can affect your productivity of work. So I was also a psychology major back in the Philippines. I know I had an accounting degree and I also had a psychology degree. I also have a business management degree. It's crazy. I love going to school. Okay. um so when I was studying psychology back in the Philippines, we were studying color and the effects of color on your mood, not just your mood, but your productivity. And out of all the colors of the rainbow, they said that the red color induces a lot of creative energy. That's why sometimes if you create a space that you want to be creative, red is a really good color for it. Although I'm not gonna paint my workshop red, for me, because I think I have undiagnosed ADHD, I need to be a little bit more calmer because I tend to be all over the place with projects. So what will happen is I picked out colors that were actually a little bit more calming and a little bit more what do you call this? Like colors that would actually like help me focus. Green tends to do that for me a lot. That's why you're going to see a lot of a green theme stuff this year from me. There's going to be a lot of green. So, yeah, my alma mater in the Philippines is LaSalle, like LaSalle University, and their colors are green. Um, that was totally like out of context. But anyway, like that is kind of like, yeah, like green has always been in my life all throughout. So green calms me down, green keeps me focused. um Being around nature does that for me. That's why it's going to be a green year for me. So yeah, Doc Ock is green, Tiana is green. What other green stuff do I have going on this year? There's just so many. And then the purples, greens, purples, and blues. There's going to be a lot of those color schemes this year. Um, so another build that I'm going to be doing this year as well is going to be doing Modoc, which is a life-size Modoc. A lot of people have made the small versions. It's just their heads. I've been planning this big build for a whole year now, and I haven't had time to do it. Oh, thanks, Papa Bear. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. Yeah, good night. Thank you so much. But yeah, like Modoc, it's just been so delayed, but it's happening. Don't worry, it's gonna be part of my broadcasting. I will start putting my schedule up on the Twitch website or my Twitch page. So yeah, keep an eye on that, and I'll send like constant reminders as well on Instagram and all the social media stuff, just so that you can check it out. And yeah, if you miss anything from tonight's session, rest assured it will be on YouTube like this week sometime, depending on the download time, how long it takes to download this whole raw file. Right now I'm at like an hour and 38 minutes. So I think since most of you are headed to bed, I'm going to sign out. And I also had such a busy day in the hospital today as well. It's been a long day. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being so supportive. Thank you so much for being so positive with my health journey last year. I really appreciate all of you. And thank you. I can't wait to show you all the stuff that I'm going to be making. I hope you're inspired. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.